I think there's too much stuff in JavaScript. When I write JavaScript, I use a tiny little subset of the things you can do, really tiny, and I try and shrink that as small as possible. And I feel like that improves readability. It improves. I don't have to learn all the new features because there's lots of kind of really cool stuff. I mean, the question mark dot thing. I love that. I'm definitely going to be using that one. That's extremely useful. But I try and use just a really small little. I almost have like a subset of JavaScript that I use. Could almost have its own name. But yeah, that's my unpopular opinion. I think JavaScript has too many language features. Should be smaller. What do you think of that?
Well, what do you think about food options? Do you feel like there's too many choices of what you might eat out there in the world? And you'd prefer if there were less? Or would you like to just select the subset of food options that you appreciate and use those?
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, like if you go to a restaurant, nice restaurants only give you a small menu, don't they?
But you also have the option of restaurant. So that's kind of a subset of a subset in that case. I got no problem with that. That's their view of the world. Like that's their little particular, you can have its own name, like its own little mat script.
Yeah, but if you're collaborating though, if we're writing open source things, there's a benefit to having, not all those features used in a language. There's a benefit that you get when you can like look at the code and you know immediately what it is. With all the language features that you could use, that's a steeper learning curve. That's just a simple kind of numbers game really there. So I feel like there's a benefit always to smaller and simpler